this policy that foreign investors or business owners must have Bahamian partners. It's a policy,
You believe
right?
that? You believe that?
Still exists,
You
but I
believe
know
that?
it was.
Do you believe that?
It's a law.
Well, see,
It's a law, but do you believe it?
I believe it's been corrupted
Okay.
because I believe that the partnership doesn't always exist with the owner of the business and somebody like a like-minded Bahamian who is versed or interested in that business that the foreigner is trying to run. It often happens that the partner is just collecting the money and not really worried about what type of operation the foreigner is doing. The reason why it was like that, so Bahamians can have the ownership and the experience, the access to the network and resources to be able to encourage other Bahamians to either get into the business or they themselves become the owner of that business or at least a leader in that industry. But if you have no interest in the business or the industry, the dream dies in your pocket. That has hurt the advancement of the country in a sense. So that's one of the things I think we need to fix.
Yo, it's good, y'all. It's your boy Dyson Knight, later to be joined by Mr. Warren Knowles and Dr. Kent Bazard. And today on the Sup'm Show, episode 20, the topic is Make the Bahamas Great Again. And we're not saying that it's not already great. We know that Bahamians here in the Bahamas and all over the world would boast that this is the greatest country ever. But we're talking about more than just our patriotic thoughts, our own personal, homegrown, heartfelt connection with the Bahamas.
I didn't realize how big this topic was, but I started thinking about it.
Big thing to be 50 years old. That's a lot of time to make a whole lot of mistakes and to make a whole lot of corrections. 50 years in, we should have spent. I mean, we've changed governments. We've had two governments, PLP and FNM, since independence. And I wonder if at any point in time, anyone even thought to come together and say, regardless of the change of government, like, where are we taking this country? Or are we just going to change visions every time we change governments? Like, there has to be a long-term goal beyond every prime minister just chasing a legacy.
So we were borrowing our theme from Donald Trump. He said, make the Bahamas great again. A few people messaged me and said, we were never great. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert on countries. 50 years sounds like a long time, but as far as a nation, that's not a long time.
Baby.
America's what, 220, 230 years old, something like that?
Yeah, very old. And they ain't perfect.
Great Britain is hundreds of years old, and other nations are hundreds of years old. So for being 50 years old, having the disadvantages we have, there are physical disadvantages. We're an archipelago, which is not conducive for any type of trade at all. It's not very conducive to trade. It's not even conducive to like agriculture and industry, really, because it raises the expense of transportation of whatever you produce.
Right.
And speaking of production, we don't produce much. We really don't. We import maybe 80%, I think they taught us in school. We import about 80% of what we consume or more. So for a country like that doesn't sound like a good situation, but for a country like that to be where we are, it says something. I think it shows some huge potential. Definitely other nationals see our potential. Persons of all measures of income see the potential here in the Bahamas. So my question is, do we see it?
That's why I'm saying, like, in a 200-year plan, you're forced to focus on what assets, what work, what is going to work, what we should put focus on and should invest in. We automatically know that tourism being the number one industry, that is going to be a large investment into that. Our Ministry of Tourism has the largest budget. But I mean, like what else? Because do we want to, especially with the experience of the pandemic, do we want to rely on tourism as a nation moving forward? Because it's not like we don't have other things that we can rely on, and we can focus on. We can pump more resources into. We have the fishing industry. We grew up learning that there's not much that can grow here in the Bahamas, but we learn as adults that that's not true. There are things that we can grow. We have a lot of farmland in Andros, so are we going to focus on that? We've been exporting pineapples. Are we going to focus on that? I see there's a coconut man stand popping up on every street corner now. Are we going to focus on that? Are we going to encourage that industry? Are we going to figure out what all products we can make through coconuts? Are we going to open up the marijuana industry because they've been growing it in the bush for so long? Like, like which things are we going to focus on and to really expand a basket of goods?
The approach to that is twofold. Of course, there's a government side, and that's usually what we're talking about. But we have to put at least, in my opinion, at least 50% of the effort, the ingenuity, maybe more than 50% on the individual. You know, if coconuts is my industry, if I'm a coconut guy on the corner and that's my industry, every time I pass those guys, my mind is always going about how, if I was him, how would I make me stop? You know, coconut water may not be a bad idea, but I don't stop a lot. I've stopped maybe twice. So I keep saying to myself, if I was him, this is what he's doing. How would I make me stop? Or how do I make this, what I'm doing, into something I can use to provide for my family, put my kids through school, give them an opportunity at a better life, and maybe just entertain myself now and again. Like, how do I do that? So the point I'm making is we can't always, and we tend to do this, and I find that this has been one of our falls as a culture, as a nation. We always look at the government to do it.
Yeah.
And you're a great example, Dyson, of somebody who didn't wait for the government, because people have been saying for years, take Junkanoo to the world, take Junkanoo to the world.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
By yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
without government assistance.
Government assistance. Yeah, that's what I mean.
By myself, we got to shout out Bonds and shout out everybody that came together to make the dream happen.
Bonds, Norman, Wendy, everybody, and all the other artists as well. You guys have done it
right
without being pushed per se. Like we like to say, push. And I always ask people, what does push mean? Like they say, push this industry, push the music, push Junkanoo. What do you mean? That has to mean, like you said, there has to be a plan behind that. It has to make sense.
But before you move too far away from the Coconut Man, what you were talking was different aspects of a company that forms an industry, or that really harnesses everything that's necessary to make a product successful, right? So I don't expect for the regular Joe Blow to think up all of these different concepts that's necessary. And what I think the government is supposed to do is just like how you sit down, what's up, Juan? Cheers to 20. Happy 20th.
I see everybody who's wearing college shirts, so I have to go and casually change to mine.
I got a sport jacket on. I feel underdressed.
Boy, maybe break out the 3-piece suit now, just for a live stream.
I wanted to bring you up to speed. We're talking what resources we can focus on, or should I even say resources? What can we exploit in a good way that would make the Bahamas more visible? Great. So we got the experience thing down. You know, they selling tourism, but the tourism experience hasn't changed that much either. In fact, it's deteriorated with downtown looking the way that it looks now. It's now making, you know, they're investing millions, if not billions of dollars into the new port. But I'm saying to Kent that all of these things, he just came up with a whole business plan for the Coconut Man. And I'm saying, yeah, but the Coconut Man isn't a business manager. He has some friends. They all can climb trees. They all can bark coconuts. They figured out how to put them in bottles. You know, but if we really get serious, we start talking about sanitation, start talking about, you know, the health factor. How clean is it? Anybody cutting their hand and pouring them coconuts? We don't know, right? So I'm saying, like, but those are the things that I place in the government's hand. And not to say shut them down because they don't have a health certificate. I mean, pump money into training these guys how to better their product, how to better their delivery. I think that's the government's job, is to really see something that can be an asset to the country, to its people, and empower the people to take it to an international level. So I know there's the SBDC, an investment agency run by the government. I think that's brilliant. I learned about it more with the former government, but I know that even before the former government, there was an exercise of there was Bahamas 20. It was something, and it kind of looked like a long-term plan, and they had some people on. All those people have already left and moved abroad and stuff like that. We didn't lock it down, so we want to throw some more things at the wall. We want to see what we can seriously make stick in this mission towards the 50th, to actually, even though we're young, to look mature, like we actually headed in the right direction.
I don't think you have to so much depend on the government all the time. At some point, you got to take the initiative and see what everybody else that's non-Bahamian seeing. You know what I mean? Because it's funny how it is coming in the conversation. I even know what y'all talking about. We always click, hey, that's just how we do. Something show, guys. That's how we do. Anyway. So yeah. But on the flip side of that too, though, sometimes when someone takes the initiative and get things going, they'll get it going for a while. It's only a matter of time before the government gets involved, though. At the same time,
yeah, because they come in and come at it from the wrong with the wrong reason. They come into tax and come into to bullying. You know what, though? 9 times out of 10, if you get it done the right way the first time, the person that's doing it, go to the government and try to make something happen. Don't wait for them to come to you. I'd go to the government. Yeah, but even when you go, I'm saying, and this is I don't really want to dig into the government, because, like you said, it really is not up to them. I feel as though it's up to them to see something trending and see how they can encourage it, how they can make it safe, how they can make it if they're gonna go after it, then they should go after it with an investment. How can I invest in my people? It's like with the Airbnbs, when they just decided that, that's the way people are making money now. Let's slap VAT and every other tax that we could. Let's see what taxes we could put on it, as opposed to saying, how can we encourage more people to get into this industry, because these are actually homegrown Bahamians owning small boutique hotels. So I'm saying, like kind of switch the mindset, and let's have some growth, because the reality of it is, the more foreign rich people we have here, that's the more poor Bahamians we're gonna have. But the more rich Bahamians we're gonna have here, the more rich Bahamians we're gonna have here.
You know what, though? The concept, you ever heard a noisy bird sooner or later always get knocked off the tree?
I've heard the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. But that's it.
Same concept. Listen. I remember, let's just take this back. How do you think the whole conch situation came into play, where people that go out, get the conch, bring it back? How did that all come into play? From conch salad to crack conch, people on Porterski Dock. How do you think it all came into play for them to make money? I'm asking.
I started that.
Okay. Who let the dogs out, bro? Okay. How do you think that first came into play?
Hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think that somebody saw this thing one day and said, "Hey, this tastes good.
Right.
How can how many different ways can I make this?" And I mean, I said that have been one.
I say that to say, I agree with you. I only said that to,
Yeah, probably wasn't one person, and it happened over a period of time, until it eventually became culture, because you got to figure out how to take the conch out and all of that. So somebody had to figure that out, or somebody had to master that technique till it became culture. You know what I mean? So yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, come on, Dyson. So look here. So the same way, in my opinion, how that's been mastered and that's been replicated over and over and over and over and over. There's many other things. Like there's no reason why Nassau, the Bahamas in general, cannot be the number one place to go for the most awesomest, if that's even a word, seafood in the world. Because we right there. There's no reason why. No reason why.
Well,
The poachers
our
agree.
seafood is pretty good, you know. When I say pretty good, I'm talking about world class.
No. I'm saying I agree with you. I know it's
Yeah.
pretty good. I'm saying there's no reason why it can't be the best. I agree with you.
Well, I don't think we're not far from the best. But what I'm saying is, and I think what Dyson is getting to is, how do we turn that into a benefit for the entire nation? Because I think we can arguably say we're the best.
Yeah.
We have an argument for that.
Yeah.
Because these guys, if you go to these shows and stuff, these guys are creating. Our chefs are creating stuff all the time. They're doing new stuff. You know what I mean? Like, tropical conch salad. That wasn't a thing when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So even at that level, even at the shack level, the guy on the side who's chopping up the conch, to the 5-star restaurant, these guys are doing all types of new stuff. So what Dyson is saying is, how do we turn that into something that promotes the country? Yeah, profit for the country and prestige, profit and prestige for the entire country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Guess what? If I may, right? Going back to when I had my trip in Costa Rica, Nicaragua, when I was out there during the holidays, right? I found conch out there, because there is conch out there, but it's black conch. It's not white. It's black, but it's conch. Okay. I made crack conch and conch salad. And let me tell you, bro, the locals was losing their mind.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you how wide open the market is for our cuisine and our type of food, that you wouldn't dream someone else would like, yo, this is top shelf right here. Right. When I say lose their mind, I'm talking about lose their mind, bro. And the conch out there is super cheap. Super cheap. It don't like $1 for a conch. $1. Talk about
What's the exchange? You mean $1 US?
$1 in US.
That black
one conch. It has a slightly different flavor. More on the street side. More on the street side.
Yeah.
Me personally, though, from a visual standpoint, I rather the white one I've been used to, because it just seemed like crazy. Like, bro, what the hell? What are you, an octopus either right here? What the hell is it? But flavor-wise, very similar. You have to prepare it the same. The shell looks the same. But I'm trying to tell you, when I prepared it, bro, and I ain't the best. I can make crock conch. I ain't the best at making no conch salad. But let me tell you, bro, because they make a lot of ceviche out there, which is very similar. When I made that with a company, they losing their mind, bro. So I said it to say this: there's a lot of things that we have going on the island, bro, in Nassau, that people are not capitalizing on and not seeing. The thing is, they allow foreigners to come in, see the potential, and then they cry after the fact that, hey, everybody coming in and taking the job. That's crazy.
In some ways, but because I know for a fact. Well, there's this policy that foreign investors or business owners must have Bahamian partners. The policy,
you believe that? You believe that?
Still exists, but I know it was.
Do you believe that?
It's a law.
Well, see,
it's a law, but do you believe it?
I believe it's been corrupted.
Okay.
Because I believe that the when the opportunity yes, because that's one of the things I think we can fix to make the Bahamas great again. The partnership doesn't always exist with the owner of the business and somebody like a like-minded Bahamian who is versed or interested in that business that the foreigner is trying to run. It often happens that the partner is just collecting the money and not really worried about what
The
type
work.
of operation
Yep.
the foreigner is doing, right? And I think if we go back to the core, one of the things we could probably fix is going back to the reason why it was like that, so Bahamians can have the ownership and the experience and the access to the network and resources to be able to encourage other Bahamians to either get into the business or they themselves become the owner of that business or at least a leader in that industry. But if you have no interest in the business or the industry, then it just the dream dies in your pocket. You know what I mean? And I think that has hurt the advancement of the country in a sense. So that's one of the things I think we need to fix. But that's like a couple things wrapped up into one. I know that. Okay, well, Dr. Bazard, as a gym owner, if he had a foreign investor in his fitness programs, it would expand to the point of where his establishment could be bigger than the biggest fitness gym in the country.
And he knows.
You see what I'm saying?
And he know why I look at him like that. He know, Jason. He know why. You just already came up with conversation many times. He know why. I'm marveling right now.
But in all honesty, there are clicks. There are clicks, and the opportunity to partner with somebody may have been there out in the open, and who was called to get that partnership going, or the route, the red tape that Kent may have to break through isn't necessarily the same type of red tape somebody else has to go through. So this person becomes discouraged from progressing in something that he has a passion for, and somebody else progresses that really doesn't give a crap, right?
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm not saying that that's always the case or that is actually the case, but I know for a fact that these are some of the reasons why our industry growth is so slow, is because we're not partnering, the government or foreign access to the money. A lot of grants and scholarships and sponsorships and stuff that are available and accessible through UNIF, these international organizations that throw money at stuff are not publicized. Like, you have no idea it exists.
Even exists, yeah.
But certain people do.
But there's so many programs. There's so many programs out there that could help you. But like you say, bro, 95% of people don't even know they exist. 1,000% agree.
Right, and it's two sides to the story too. If you want to hide something from people, put it in text, put it in black and white, put it in writing, make it so they have to read in order to go and look for it. But
I was going to say to you earlier, if you spend $1 a day and just buy the newspaper, you get so much information.
Yeah.
From just reading the newspaper every day.
Right.
You get so much information. And I've had this discussion so many times with some people. They'd be like, well, nobody tell me that. And I say, well, it's right there. It's right there in the business section.
Right.
I didn't know. I didn't hear about this. I didn't know about that. It's right there.
It's right there.
So I mean, do you know that they put a lot of these like positions and stuff because they have to. They put a lot of these positions in the paper before you can bring somebody in for any job. You have to advertise it in the paper for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're supposed to show evidence. I think you're supposed to show evidence that you've went through the process of trying to hire somebody locally.
Right.
Now, a lot of times, like you said, it's corrupted. And the truth is, a lot of times you can waste your time talking to local people. I'm just being honest here. You're going to waste your time because you're not going to get exactly what you're looking for. A lot of times, in some industries, yes. In some industries, no.
Right.
You're not going to get what you're looking for. So if you really want what you're looking for, who's somebody who you're going to put millions of dollars worth of capital or business, you need to put it into somebody who's experienced, who knows what they're doing, and especially who has international experience, because once you're doing a large business here, you're dealing with an international community, really. So I mean, we're not really addressing the biggest elephant or one of the big elephants in the room. And I think one of the biggest challenges is that it is very difficult to do business here in this country. It is very, very difficult. And
Why is that?
it's difficult everywhere, but from banking systems to infrastructure, I mean, you're talking about electricity going out. You know how it is to find quality, like finding quality labor is becoming a problem.
And why do you think that's so?
Well,
In your opinion, this does not reflect what JP.
well, this is part of the culture that we need to change. I think we're losing our sense of being excellent at everything we do.
Yeah.
Like our parents, grandparents, those guys, whatever they did it excellently. You know?
I think what I was saying was pointed in this direction too, but I just want to use this moment to say there are thousands of capable Bahamians who are first rate. Like we just got introduced to the young lady who used to work at NASA, is a rocket ship engineer or something like that. Like we have thousands of intelligent, capable Bahamians who would not come home.
Right.
because there's I wouldn't say there's nothing here for them, but they would have to take a pay cut. And not that the Bahamas can't afford to pay them, because we pay the expats, but they, because they're Bahamian, would have to take a pay cut, would have to take a reduced a lesser title or something or whatnot, but they can be more elsewhere. And it's not like we can't facilitate them. It's because of it's harder to get. I'm just saying this per se because I don't want any I want no trouble. All right.
You know what? But that's why I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, it's harder to get a kickback from a person who is entitled to be here and get what they have than it is to get a kickback from someone who is not entitled to it. And you understand what I'm trying to say?
True.
So we the people who would like to benefit from foreign investment would prefer to deal with the foreigner because there's more to be made for me and myself. But when it comes to how it affects the country, how it would be so great to have a 5-year-old, 6-year-old Bahamian see another Bahamian as the CEO of their favorite toy company or something of the other. You understand what I'm saying? I just saw Jazz, the baseball player, on the cover of some big, I think it's a video game or something like that.
Not 2K, the other one. Not 2K.
Right.
The other game, yeah.
Right, and to see more Bahamian and to rub shoulders with them and grow up next to them and really see that is an attainable level of success, it really threatens individuals' bottom line. So be protective of that. We don't want too much of that. We don't want people to be thinking that they worth more than what they're getting paid on the job. And speaking about getting paid on the job, I don't know if y'all had something to say on that point, but there's a lot of brutality happening when it comes to enforcing labor laws on some of these establishments, like some of these stories. And that's something that we need to do. Stop discouraging our hardworking Bahamians by overworking them. I just heard a crazy story about an employee who invested all of their free time to work overtime because they had a goal. And then at payday, the boss says, well, I'll pay you the hours, but I'm not paying you overtime.
Wow.
And that's the type of crazy nonsense that has happened in this country. And I know that the owner of that company is politically affiliated. So the only thing that could come of it is that the first person on that job make noise will get fired.
You think hold on. But do you think if it was non-Bahamians on that job versus the people that's from the Bahamas, you think it would have went down the same way? As far as the owner of the company treating them that way?
Absolutely not. I mean,
Okay.
but
Hold on.
right.
Okay. So first and foremost, before all of these dreams and aspirations can take place, the number one thing that we need to do first and foremost is Bahamians need to support Bahamians.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, we could project all the things that could make it better. We could do this, we could do that, bring money in, bring resources. If Bahamians don't support Bahamians, all of that is for nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing.
You have to learn how to boycott.
Like Kent like to say, it's a lot of shit you have to unlearn.
Yeah.
You have to unlearn that slave mentality, bro. That is so dangerous.
Yeah.
It is so dangerous, my brothers.
So how are we going to make how are we going to make the Bahamas great again? Because I'm not sure.
So I think we've now kind of leaned towards because we talk about business, we talk about industry and those things. Now we kind of talking more about the actual society, more about the social aspect.
Yeah.
Because to me, you know me, I always say it always boils down to the people. To me,
Yep.
It always boils down to the people, because it's the people that make it happen or don't make it happen.
Yeah.
So whatever's going on with the people, if the people are distracted, if they're discouraged, if they're not motivated, if they're disingenuous, whatever, dishonest, if they're all of that stuff, it's going to be very hard to do anything with sense on a national level.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to have a shop on your corner.
Yeah.
If people are going to be breaking into your store every time, every other month, people are going to be breaking into your store, destroying your property. If you every time you build something new, every time you build a new lamp, a new street light, what happened? Somebody run into it, knock it over. Like, I mean, if you can't,
how much people in here for motorbikes?
If you can't stop knocking over the street lights, like, what the hell? Are we supposed to have traffic control if you can't, y'all can't stop knocking over the street lights?
Like you like to say, they be aiming for the light.
Dude, so I'm saying, imagine how frustrating it must be if you're one of the leaders. And I don't mean you don't have to be prime minister. I'm just saying, just suppose you're in charge of something. Let's say you're in charge of street lights. Let's say you're in charge of potholes. The person who's in charge of potholes, he's either that he or she is either extremely lazy or the most stressed out person on this island, right? Like, they either don't care a damn at all. You understand? Because we know stuff needs to be done. We know it needs to be done a certain way. Yet, as much as you push and pull for your leaders and your superiors to do it the proper way, it doesn't get done. And so we just keep repeating the cycle over and over again, patching up the hole. Then when it rains, the hole come back. People all down your throat, they're getting mad at you. And you're like, well, what you want me to do? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all I could do is patch the hole up again. I already told them this is what we need to do, and they're not doing it. So now what? So I'm saying, and a lot of times that stuff happens, and I experienced this myself, not because your idea isn't a good one, and not because they don't have the funds, not because they're not interested. Sometimes it just, your idea is either pushed to the side, pushed down, or totally blocked altogether just because it's your idea,
right,
and not someone else's. Be it theirs or one of their friends or one of their buddies, or you're too young, you don't know what you're talking about, you just reach who you think you are.
That part right there.
Who you think you is with your education and stuff? We've been doing it this way for years. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So
that's crazy.
All of those are aspects of culture. All of that is culture. All of that is the way we interact with each other as people. And when you go to another country And you could talk to a stranger and you could give them, and they'd be like, hey, all right. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
and yeah, like okay, let's give it a try. And if you jack up, hey, then you're out on your butt, no problem. But I mean, at least give the opportunity. At least try to at least listen. At least don't try to discourage and just straight up block your own people. Like we need to destroy that part of our culture where we tear down and destroy each other all the time, bro. You know what I mean? Like as perfect example. As soon as the 50 logo came out, everybody started bashing it. Everybody all this and that logo boring. I'm like, bro, I'm like, but sometimes I just be reading this stuff on Facebook, but I just want to say something so bad. And I'm like, dude, are you an artist?
Yeah.
Did you submit anything? Did you submit any art? Then shut the hell up, bro. Like, shut up. Shut up.
It's a logo. We got a logo. Awesome. Good job.
Please.
But guess what, though, brothers? Very rare do this type of behavior occur in any other culture but the Black culture.
Let me
a topic for
put some
itself.
people on blast right now because they did me dirty, right? But right now,
I'm on blast, Dyson. Let them dogs out, man.
right now, there's this push to gather entertainers together to, I guess, be a voice to demand who is supposed to perform at the 50th or who should be a part of the 50th. And I find it to be such silliness when we exist in an industry where we have to have direct contact with the Bahamian people. So at which point in time do the artists get to determine who the people want to see? If it's anything, then all the artists should get together and say, hey, let's go to our social media pages or let's go to our street corners and let's try to see exactly what the people want. What quality and level or aspect of entertainment do they want to see? Let's have a national survey to do that so that we can show the government that this is what the people want, because that's who we work for. That's who the entertainment community works for. We work for the people. Mm-hmm. We don't work for the government. You understand what I'm saying? And when we do work for the government pays us. They pay us with the people's money. So it's crazy to want to bully people to go in a certain direction if that's not the way that the people want to go. Now, the people don't always have the right idea. The people may turn around and say they want to see Buju perform his new album, right? And we may have to say, no, that's not what we're doing. We could probably, if you want reggae, we could probably give you some Judah the Lion. You know, we could give you some Willis and the Illis. You know, we have some payments. If that's y'all want reggae, okay, here. This is you have them. What else do you want? But I'm thinking like, and two sides of that story too, because you do have the government who are only in. I don't think they do it as much now, but they do want to give back to the artists that help them campaign. I understand, right? So the artists that help them campaign and win the election would be the artists that you would see mostly on stage. Not always the case, but sometimes that's what it is, and I understand that. But I'm saying now, if we're gonna be 50 years old now, like, and that hasn't done anything over the past 50 years to grow the music industry, then shouldn't we try something else? You know what I mean? And I got another question for you guys. If 50 is young and we're still considered a baby as a country, then who is the baby daddy? Who are our parents? who are we looking to hold our hand as we attempt to learn to walk?
Well, I a country is a little different in that type of analogy. I think we can follow examples as far as our parents, if you want to consider our parents to be those countries or regions of the world that contributed to what our culture is today. And that's three. Africa, the United Kingdom, and America. Those are the three regions that have contributed to what our country is today, right? Now, we can talk about percentages, but
yeah,
those are three cultures that have contributed to who we are today and continue to contribute to who we are today. So, but it is, even though we can, 50 is a baby, you're an independent baby, if that makes sense. So, which means that you're a liberated baby, which means that you decided that you know enough of, because the Bahamas as a established nation is older than 50, but we've decided that we can run our own ship, that we want to run our own ship, and we want to do it by ourselves without any interference. So now it's like your child say, okay, daddy, I'm 18, I'm coming out the house. And
right.
It's like, okay, all right, see you later. And they out there struggling and falling down and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you mean, as a real parent, you want to help them, but at the same time, especially if they give you some attitude, especially if they give you some attitude, your response might be a little different. So I'm saying that to say that it's not a perfect analogy, but we didn't have we didn't have any war or nothing like that. But at the same time, we were pretty aggressive in saying we wanted to be independent. We became independent, and now we now have to live with our choice, one, and we have to make the best of everything we have. And what we've been doing for the past, increasingly so, I'd say in the last 20 to 25 years, since I've been almost an adult, is we've continued to more and more to hate ourselves. We've continued more and more to hate ourselves. I mean, Dyson, you're talking about the people choosing who to listen to. I mean, very few people know who to choose to listen to, which Bahamian artists they're going to choose to listen to. No offense to Ton Ash, but they might choose Ton Ash. And Ton Ash is a great artist, but he's not a Bahamian music artist. You understand what I mean?
Bahamian genre,
yeah,
right.
He's
but no one uses more Bahamian dialect, and he uses strictly Bahamian dialect in his songs, which is pretty.
I had him perform at the show. Yeah. He's great, but I'm just saying he's not a Bahamian music artist.
So what is
he's a Bahamian? He's a Bahamian hip hop.
What's that? The Jamaican?
He's a Bahamian hip hop artist.
So I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, people may say, "Oh, let's have Ton Ash perform at the 50th," when I don't think that would be appropriate. You know what I mean? I think it should be everything from tradition with some contemporary, but of course traditional, and maybe even like you said, something new. So what I'm saying is, we've started to hate ourselves more and more and more. We try to appropriate to some degree our parents. We've tried to appropriate our parents more than develop ourselves, continue to develop ourselves into whatever it is that we want ourselves to be. Mm-hmm. That's the initial thing I said. That's why I said, do we have you said at the beginning, if we have a 40-year, 100-year plan?
200-year plan.
Yeah. Do we have a vision of what we want Bahamian to be? What is Bahamian exactly? You know what I mean? What is the food? What does the food look like? What is our business culture look like? Yeah. What does our banking look like? What do our roads going to look like? What is the electric? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we really thinking about these things? And if we are, like you said, Dyson, every move we make would be into developing that. And lastly, I just want to say the most important thing when considering all of that is we need to consider what we as a people would be like.
I
What are we as a,
think
what are we as a
that's what's
people?
important.
How are we going to be known? What are we going to be known for? How are we going to treat ourselves? You know, how are we going to interact with each other? What are we going to be like? Because that's what boils everything down. That's what everything boils down to. It boils down to how we treat each other, how we work with each other, how we live with each other as Bahamians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any last words, Juan?
First and foremost, it don't matter what we implement. It doesn't matter how we try to go about bringing resources, opening businesses. First and foremost, like I said before, we have to support one another. That's the only way this is going to happen. The only way. Okay? Because we're so quick to jump on the bandwagon of foreigners, on the bandwagon of something that's new, that's created by foreigners within your own country. You know, if it's something that's created by foreigners in their country, whatever. But when you're going to jump on the bandwagon and support so wholeheartedly, whether it be music, whether it be restaurants, whether it be clothing, the clothing industry, whatever it may be, it's like they flock to that, man. And all that tells me, and that hasn't just been happening, that's been happening for years now. Good 30 to 40 years, man, from what I can tell.
Mhm.
Okay? All that does is actually take away from our natural resources. Because when a foreigner comes into the country, they're not looking out for your best interest as a citizen of the Bahamas. They're looking out to get rich for them and them only. Now, it may help the country, you know, somewhat, okay? But it's nothing better than owning something that's generated by you, controlled by you, operated by you, put in place to help your own people. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The music industry, you know, and this has been going on for 1,000 years now. And in Nassau, we'll support any other artist except for our own. Dyson, you know, artists got to go out the country, make a name, and come on back. And
Yeah.
then you might be respected. It's still no guarantees. You might be respected because then here's what they say. It goes back to what my brother Ken said. Now they're gonna start saying, "You think you too good? You going out the country now and make a name for yourself. Now here comes Dyson Knight thinking he's an American boy now." It's just a stupid mentality, bro, and it's aggravating. It's aggravating. See, Dyson, you got tremendous patience because I started the music industry also, and I gave that crap up, bro. I gave it up.
Yeah.
The red tape and the loopholes that you have to jump through, you dare now have to kill somebody to get on.
Yeah. I think the most advancement and growth, and I'll say this in my closing,
Mm-hmm.
the most advancement and growth, and this is what I respect
Yeah.
mostly about our movement towards 50, is that the majority of that is coming from the people.
Mm-hmm.
It literally is coming from the people. So I shout out the coconut man on the side of the road because
Yeah, man.
before that they would have been doing something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I shout out the people that are doing things without government involvement and the people that push to not have government involved. Because in all honesty, it looked like they need a little less to handle. And I'm saying in successive governments, it looked like they need a little bit more less to deal with. And we need to take more responsibility because they can't do it all by themselves.
Right.
I think for things to change, it may take us another couple of years to really weed out some of the lesser advanced, the lesser modern mindset that we have signing policies and running things in the country. And I'm just saying it because the world is ever changing, and no one's going to get it right all the time. We do need to make mistakes. Mistakes is a part of progress. But yeah, we just have to be a lot more focused on what the end goal is, and we have to do our due diligence and pay respect to ourselves to become the best versions of ourselves that we could possibly be. Because if we are all better people, then we'll have a better country, hands down.
Absolutely.
We'll know what to fight for. We'll know which birds to knock out that tree one, and which ones of us need to be birds in the tree making noise. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, I think on the road to 50, a lot of y'all who just throwing rocks need to chill. Throw solutions. Throw solutions. And if something is already done and you can't change it, you can critique it, but also celebrate it. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's done, and it's done by like the logo. That's 3 very talented artists involved in it. The more you attack them, the more you discourage them. Give them their props. They did it. They was there. They achieved it. If you want to do something else, do one for the 51st and show it to us. Let's see what you do. It's all good. We have more years of independence to go, hopefully, unless I run hot and decide to tell the king I want I no longer want to be independent, right? But until then, let's celebrate one another, like what Juan said, man. Because we could do more. I think we could do more good by building each other than tearing us down. All right, that's my time. Anybody got anything to say? Anybody? Anything else in your glass? Y'all good? Because this is the 20th. And when we say the 20th, ladies and gentlemen, we do mean this is the 20th episode of the Sup'm Show.
Slogan, man. Finish that before the show out, man. Come on.
It means that there's 19.
Come on.
No, that was heavy.
Down. Hey, there you go. There you guys go. I finished before you all, man. Come on. And I come late to the show. Come on, guys.
There's 19 other shows of great content that you can check out. They're all on. Yeah, boy. Yeah. They're all on the Sup'm Show homepage. This page will be going live from now. It's Sunday, every Sunday at 6:30. We all interchange with who is hosting. Today is me. Tomorrow maybe Ken. Well, next week it might be Ken. Next week it might be Juan. But I'm Dyson Knight.
Dr. Kent Bazard.
JP1 Pedro knows what's wrong in the building.
And us 3 gentlemen will see y'all next week. All right, y'all be safe.
Y'all be safe. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.